Hey guys, I'm just here inside the front gate of the seminary. You can see the street, and as students come in, they walk through this gate and they pass the temple, which is part of the church that shares the campus with the seminary. Oh, hermana. And they pass through this second gate. Here's the front office, and you can see to the right we have the garden plaza area. And this part of this purpose of this video is to get to share with you a little bit about something new in my work life here at the seminary. This semester I was given an office. It's number 4 in case you're wanting to visit me. So I come to number 4 and I open my door. And one of my favorite things about the office is this huge built-in shelf system. I'm pretty sure it was built when the seminary first opened on this campus back in the 60s, but it's holding together really well. And I'm trying not to fill it too much because I really don't want to just buy a bunch of books that then I have to lug around the world. But that's my favorite feature of the office so far. I have a desk, which was before in my apartment. It's a desk the seminary lent me, and a nice big wall where I can put inspirational posts and things like that. But the reason I was given an office is that last semester I asked Pastor Julio if they would give me some kind of space that I could use to meet with students. Because before this point, students who wanted to meet with me would end up going and searching for me in the apartments and would come knocking on my door. And it got to a point where that just felt that it was a little inappropriate, or not inappropriate. Yeah, you know what I mean, I think. It just, what would it be like for you as a professor to receive students in your house? And especially when it ended up being male students who had questions. Of course, I'd talk with them outside my door and not in the apartment. But it just wasn't a very good place conducive to good talks about homework, about classwork, about issues that the students might be having. And Pastor Julio, the director of the seminary, was like, wow, yeah, I can't believe we haven't found you an office space. And there's not a lot of space on campus. And so I was probably going to end up sharing an office with someone or using part of a classroom that's not used very much as an office space. But in the end, they actually cleared out all the Baptist Association paperwork that was in here and moved it to a different small office and let me use this office. And it's been great for a number of reasons. First, it's helped me separate daily life from classwork. Before, I had my desk in my living room, so I'm just constantly, while I'm doing the dishes, thinking about classwork. While I'm doing classwork, thinking about the dishes or about what I need to do next in the house. And so it's been really great to just, when I'm done with grading some tests, walk over to my apartment and be able to forget about classwork. And also to have that space in my apartment to be, when I'm there, just be resting, be enjoying my time, or doing something for personal development. Second, it's been a much more appropriate place for interactions with students. And that's just, I think it's opened the door for students to be able, feel more comfortable coming to find me, not feel like they're intruding, and to have a place where they can just sit down and ask questions about class. And a place where I can actually sit down and respond. And third, it's opened up, it kind of goes with number 2, an opportunity for more one-on-one teaching. My students right now are taking a course on the missionary journeys of Paul, and I didn't know what to give them for a final project. I know I didn't just want them to learn about the missionary journeys of Paul and take exams, but actually have to do something that makes them jump into the material. And I called Dr. Rick Kallenberg, who is one of the teachers, the Bible teachers in my church, and also a professor at Dallas Theological Seminary. And he recommended that I have each student read one of the letters of Paul, one of the epistles of Paul, and look for clues to the missionary strategy of Paul, the missionary message of Paul, and Paul's follow-up with the churches that he had planted, which those were topics we were discussing in the class, and he recommended that we look and see if we can find those in the actual epistles of Paul. And it's actually been a great project. My students have already finished their first step, which is to look for missionary strategy or clues in the letters that Paul wrote that tell us more about his missionary strategy. I've told the students the question that we want to ask is, okay, so I'm a missionary who's training other missionaries, and I want to use this example of Paul to tell them what they should do in their missionary life and work. And so what would you take out of this letter, and then be able to go say, okay, look, this is something that you can do in your work. And today, for example, I had one of my students come in. Today and tomorrow, I'm doing one-on-one meetings with all the students in one of my two classes, where I'm going to sit down with them and review their first step of the project. I think just like any beginning undergrad students would in any university in the States, the students, I noticed as they did their project, they were really just writing summaries of what they found in the letters instead of drawing out from those summaries things that indicate some kind of strategy. And so I had my first meeting with my student who's named Mauro this morning, and it was a really great moment to be able to sit down and as he would show me a summary of a certain part in the book. We would read he's doing the book of Philippians. We would read through that section together, and I would ask him, okay, you've written a summary here, but okay, very good. Paul thanks the church and the Philippian church for supporting him. But with what purpose? With what purpose did he do that? What was he trying to achieve through thanking them the way that he did? And it was a really, really great conversation, because by the end, Mauro was like, wow, there's so much here. And I think he was able to see a little deeper than he had before. And so I've been really thankful to have an office space, because it opens the door for those kinds of conversations, and for it not just being teaching in class and leaving, but actually being able to be a part of my students' lives through meeting with them in my office. If you think about it, whenever comes a Tuesday, my office hours, which I'm kind of getting them accustomed to, that concept doesn't exist here, it seems to me, are Tuesday from 5 to 6 before my English class starts at 6:30 in the evening. So anyways, that's a little bit about my office and a little bit about a project that my students are working on. I hope you guys have a great day, and that you will learn to know and love Jesus Christ more each day.